Hello and welcome. My name is Deborah Guthrie, and joining me today is Georgia Styka. Currently, she is the treasurer for the Meridian Garden Club, but coming up in June, Georgia will be the president of the Meridian Garden Club. Welcome. Thank you so much for joining me, and
Thank
congratulations.
You. Oh, thank you.
You just keep moving up from secretary to treasurer to
what
president.
else is there now?
What else is there now? Now you have to come on to shows like this and do interviews. That's what it is. So you have a plant sale coming up on May 17th.
May 18th.
May 18th.
No, I take it back. You're right. May 17th. We have another project that's going to be coming up the day after that, and it's been heavily on my mind, but the plant sale is the 17th.
You have a plant sale on May 17th from 9 to 2.
Right.
At the Central Park Pavilion where the farmers market is.
Right across from where we are right now.
And so let's talk about the garden club and what the garden club does so that people know when they buy a plant at the plant sale what that money will go towards.
Okay.
And so the garden club, it's been around since 1970.
Well, we're actually 48 years old.
48 years old.
We're 48.
That's how old I am this year, Georgia. 48. I'm not going to forget that number for the garden club.
You're a great 48, I'll tell you that.
Thank you.
We've been around since 48, and Helen Tanner was our original president.
Oh.
And actually started out in a coffee shop. Their first meeting was held in a coffee shop. Since then, it's grown and expanded and really had a purpose when they started to move all of the buildings into the historical village. As the first one was around there. I think it was the farmhouse was the very first one that was in there. So the group has grown and expanded, and right now there are 85 members.
Wow.
Various ages. Most of us are retired, but those of us that aren't retired will come, especially during the summertime, because that's when we do the bulk of our work. We have meetings September through May. In September, introductory, and October, we put the gardens to bed. We clean them all up. We have meetings then. In November, December, we have a great luncheon. January, February, March, April, and then in May, that's when we plant.
Okay.
So we'll put the annuals, the perennials, and the other things in there. We do not meet in June, July, or August, but that doesn't mean that the members are not busy, because that's when they're tending all of the gardens. Not only do we do the historical village, but we also do the Tui Garden, which is next to the playground. We also do the gardens that are in front of the building here. We call it the Eagle Garden and the Blue Star Garden and the Administration Garden. We also do the Post Office Garden as well.
At Okemos. So when people come to the Meridian Township Municipal Complex,
right,
which includes the public safety building where the police department is located, it includes the farmers market, Central Park Pavilion. There's a playground right next to it, which has the Tui Garden that you're talking about.
Right.
And then the Meridian Historical Village, where you have several gardens, including the Planet Pink Garden, which is that one of your most recent gardens that you've planted?
It's the last garden that we planted. It's probably been in for about 2 years. It was about 2 years in the planning. And since the garden, we call it the PIP Garden, Planet Pink Garden, it has won a ton of awards. It has won awards at the state level for the Michigan Garden Clubs Incorporated, for the National Garden Clubs Incorporated. It has won awards for that, and we've just won an award from the Michigan Landscapers. It's an MLNA, but which is going to be coming to give us a little award a little later this week. I think it's a week from this Monday, the 13th, I believe. So it just keeps on earning us awards. And if you've ever been there, it's not a very big garden. It was meant to be, number one, to commemorate those people that have had breast cancer or have survived breast cancer, and a bench that overlooks the pond, and it's just supposed to be a contemplative place where they can just sit and ponder. And that was the intent from the very beginning.
Do you work with other organizations on these gardens or other gardens off-site?
It's possible to do that. The Hazlet Beautification Association, we have a lot of members in common between the two.
Okay.
As a matter of fact, the award that we're getting is also, they're also getting an award as well for all of the beautiful gardens that they do. Basically, we work with other organizations to help us, like we'll work with nurseries in the areas. We will work with to purchase plants, to buy plants. Sometimes they will even put plants in for us, and all of the nurseries around. We do work with them, but the actual work that goes in most of the time is just done by the garden members.
And so when people go to the plant sale and they purchase plants or other items, you can tell us what those other items are.
Yes, ma'am, I will.
Where does that money go right back into the gardens?
It goes right back into the gardens. As a matter of fact, the 18th, we are working with the two high schools that are in Meridian Township, the basic ones, Okemos and Hazlitt High School. We're working with their athletic directors, with other various organizations, and we're going to be putting in basically 2 new gardens, which is right next to the public safety. One of our members happened to be talking to the police chief, and he was bemoaning the fact that they walk up into the building and there's nothing there.
They have rocks around the building.
Yes, they have rocks, and he said that they'll buy a big planter and put plants in it. And he said, but and she immediately said, well, we can put gardens in. And the next thing I know is I get a telephone call. Georgia, we're going to do this. So we put it to the membership last fall, and they all agreed to it. So we've been working on it literally since last fall, and the culmination will be the 18th, when we hopefully have a number of high school students that are coming in. We will have purchased the plants. The ground will have been cleared. We will have amended the soil if it needs to be better soil than what it is. We're getting the kids in here to do all the heavy lifting. The plants will all be there. They're the ones that are going to dig the holes and put the plants in.
Wow.
And if we have too many of those students, and I'm really hoping we have too many of those students, we'll be working on the chapel. We recently pulled out most of the plants around the chapel. The soil was awful. It was nothing but clay. We spent last fall amending the soil, putting a soil down by a corporation called Meridian, which helps to amend the soil, and then we're going to be putting that in, but we're going to be putting lots of new plants in there as well. So so we have a lot of work ahead of us. And then going along with the police station, we're going to be adding plants and flowers around the fire station that's on Okemos Road.
Okay.
The fire chief particularly wanted the round circle that surrounds the flagpole to be enhanced. So we're working there and putting other plants in along the front of the building as well. So hopefully some of our students we will truck them down there and they can work on that. And then every year after that, it's with our understanding that we'll continue to get the students to come in once a year in the springtime or even in the fall time, if it's available, to help to take care of the gardens.
I was going to ask you, when you add more gardens to the mix that you're maintaining, how many more members does it take to maintain?
Well, it should take a lot more members, but what we're trying to do with these 2 particular gardens are to get the community involved with taking care of the gardens. You're right. We're getting older. We're a little less able than we used to be before, but both the Michigan Garden Club and the National Garden Club, one of their goals is always to include students in what we do. So we're trying to the best of our ability. Summer Power, who's the one who said, "Let's do the gardens for you, Chief," said she works with students over by the Hazlitt Post Office, over by the libraries, over by Lake Lansing, and she works with Girl Scouts and other groups like that to put plantings in as well. So we do a lot of stuff.
This is good for younger generations to be involved in something that they probably otherwise wouldn't be involved in.
Right. We also have a group that behind the farmhouse, they're called the Backdoor Gardeners, and their specific goal is to work specifically with students, usually elementary students. The kids will come in, they've got a program, they'll introduce them, they'll plant things, and there's a garden that's adjacent to the house that plants stuff there. And then we have the picket fence garden, the one that's behind the barn.
Right.
And they work with students helping to plant there, and they just put a scarecrow in, and again we had to amend that soil because that soil was so clayey that big puddles of water would perform. So we're doing our best to prepare the soil as best we can. And then we bring students in, and in the fall, when we used to have Celebrate Meridian in the fall, in September, that would be a day when we would bring students in and they could harvest everything that we had grown and walk away with baskets of whatever was growing at the particular time beets, potatoes, corn, whatever. But now that it's in June, we still bring the kids in, but we don't have the big culmination of the gardens in September like we used to.
So May 17th, 9 to 2,
Right.
at the Central Park Pavilion is the plant sale.
And at 12 o'clock, the prices go half price.
They do?
They do.
I didn't know
but
that.
But there's not a whole lot of selection because people know, so from 9 to 12.
Pickings get
and
slim,
I'll tell you, at 12 o'clock, that's also when members can now buy plants. And you would think that we have enough plants around our house.
You wouldn't buy it.
We look around and go, oh, that's really nice.
That
Oh,
would
I
look
don't
good.
have one of those. Tell me about that. So, yeah, we have wonderful people. We'll bring everything in on the 17th. Everything will be marked. There will be identification tags on the plants that'll indicate what time of the year they bloom, whether it needs sun or shade, whether or not it's dew resistant, what color the flowers will be. There's a lot of information that we have on there. So you're not buying just a plant saying, oh, I hope this works in my garden. And we
have hanging plants.
Hanging plants. We have tomato plants. One of our members grows, I don't know how many, 70 or 80 hanging tomato plants that you can put. We grow everything. And then we have garden goodies, which used to be just garden goodies, and now it's stuff that you find around your house, vases and other things that you think are nice enough to sell, but and we get profit from that. We also have a bake sale. So our garden members, especially that don't bring in plants, we encourage them to, use their white thumb and produce some flower, some goodies for us, and we sell that as well. And all that money goes back in so that we can do something like we're doing for what we call the safety gardens. I don't know how much the final bill is going to be, but we're probably spending anywhere between $2,000 to $3,000 on the plants just for it.
Wow.
I don't know what the cost would be if we didn't have all the help to do it for us. And the township was really, really gracious because we have to extend the irrigation in front of the two safety gardens, and they very graciously picked up the cost of that for us. So
what is the cost annually to maintain the gardens, and how much do you hope to raise from the plant sale?
We budget about $3,500, and we usually make about $2,500 from the plant sale. We have other fundraisers. We sell centerpieces over at the mall at Christmas time. We also have a wonderful group of people that will take and make plaques with dried flowers, and that's another one that doesn't cost us much because we just bring in plants and dried goodies from home. We dry them out and then we take them and put them on plaques and cards and pictures.
And they're beautiful.
They're very nice.
They're gorgeous, stunning.
The women who work on it are very talented. I'm always just amazed how they can take, leaves and dried flowers and seeds and make them look like people or make them look like, it's just amazing, and they're very, very pretty. So we sell those at several different places throughout the Lansing area. So that's another one that we do as well.
Where can people find out more about the garden club, how they can get involved? If someone's listening and they say, I want to be a member, I want to be part of this.
Well, if they Google Meridian Garden Club, I think one of the first things that come up is our website. So they can. We also have a Facebook site, Meridian Garden Club. But the most information that you will get is by going to our website, by just again Googling Meridian Garden Club. It'll come right up for you. It's one of the first things. So, lots of information. We have a webmaster that's really very talented, and there's again a lot of information, places to go, and information about everything that we do. And we meet every third Monday, right in the Township Hall here at 9 o'clock, except for January and February because we have to deal with President's Day and Martin Luther King. So we basically either meet before or after that, but we're here all the time on that Monday. So
anything else you want to tell us?
It's a great group of women. I've only been a member of this group about 8 years, basically, and I feel like I've made lifelong friends. We do a lot of things during the summertime. We have what's called gallivanting gardeners, where we visit places all over Michigan.
That's cool.
And then we do all these other projects that we do, making things, for sale. And again, you sit down there, you're talking. The best thing to do is to sit down at a garden while you're pulling weeds for 3 hours. I did that with Jody Solanowitz, who's our president right now, and we've been good friends ever since. So,
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a great organization. Wonderful people.
Thank you so much, Georgia. I appreciate you coming on.
You're welcome.
And I want to thank you for watching. This has been a discussion about the Meridian Garden Club. And again, if you're interested in being involved or know more about the Garden Club, just Google Meridian Garden Club, and they're also on Facebook, Meridian Garden Club Inc., and you'll be able to find them that way.
Yep.
Thank you.